Hello, happy Sunday, everybody. Andy Nichols from Two Legs here in the Sunday Spotlight on the Two Legs channel for my weekly Sunday chat to talk all things Beatles in the week in review and whatever else comes along the way here. Good morning, everybody. How we doing today? Hello, Noah. And there's the MVP, first in the queue as always. Hi, Jeff. Good morning. Jeff, I just replied to you on Buy Me a Coffee. Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate that. And I think you were tuned in last night as well to our top 10 worst Macca songs, which was a little different for us to do a show just on the things that we don't like about Macca because we love so much. We love just about everything else he does, but we had to do a show on our top 10 worst songs. Hello, James. Good morning. Good morning, good morning. So, at the top of your head, what's some of your least favorite Paul McCartney songs? James, chime in. Throw off a couple off the top of your head. Curious if we match up on any of those songs. It wasn't too hard. Tom could have done 30 or 40. I had probably 15. Brendan, hello. Yeah, let's go Mets. We had to. We had to. I know, it's blasphemous. I know. I actually think I chose Bip Bop as one of mine, and Joan Borelli, I saw in the comments, was like, no, I love Bip Bop. See, so one person's trash is another person's, prize. What can I say? Yeah, the Mets are not done yet. It's not dark yet, but it's getting there, as the great Bob Dylan said. Well, hopefully not. Hopefully not. Hey, listen, they didn't lose, as the great Mike Francesa said, they did not lose at home. Okay, so the Dodgers didn't celebrate in New York. Now they go back, and at least the Mets held serve. Would have liked to win. Go back 3-2, but now they're down 3-2. So yeah, love all the Mets talk. Yeah, Boyan. Yeah, hey Andy, I struggle to think of the least favorite Paul songs, but as I watched it, my mind went through some of the oratorio stuff. But yeah, that's cheating. That's a cheat. I mean, well, listen, you could use whatever you want, but the oratorio, I think you got to pick some more proper songs for that. MVP. We went blue today. Why not? And that's the default thing here on StreamYard. But I said, well, let's just switch it to blue. It's a good color anyway. Hello, Mr. Boyce. Just thanked you again on Buy Me a Coffee. Thank you so much for that. Tony's here. Good morning, Tony. Am I right that the Atlantic Ocean made your top 10? It did not. It did not make my top 10 worst. It could have, though. Here we go. I might be okay with the least favorite song for each album conversation, but worst, come on now, that's hardcore. Christian, hi Christian. Are you a fan of Tom Petty? Did you pick up? I'm a casual Tom Petty fan. I'm not diehard. Full Moon Fever for me and the greatest hits is all I need. You know it. You know it. Actually, no, it didn't. That escaped, or maybe it did. I forget now. No, it did. It did. Can't remember. I can't tell you what I did yesterday, but I can tell you what Paul ate for lunch in 1973. Yes, for you it was on my list. Yes, it was. Karina Crore, yes. God, Elliot. Hello, Elliot. Hello, Gary. Kiss of Venus. Yeah, it's Tom Petty's birthday. Well, listen, he's gone. What now? He passed away in 17. Yeah, long time now. Wow. Yeah, well, that Jeff, P.S. Love Me Do was my honorable mention. Ciao from Italy. That's a great country. I was just there, No, that one was okay. Loop. Now, somebody made a good comment on our channel about Loop. It brings Red Road Speedway down, but if you contextualize it and listen to it in 1973 ears, it actually does fit the period. I agreed with that comment. I forget who wrote that, but that was spot on. If you take Loop off of Red Road Speedway, I don't hate it as much, but because that one song is in there with the other 8 songs, yes, including the 4 as one song as a medley, it brings it down. But if you take Loop outside of it, yes. James, admit it. Take any of the songs on your worst list. Of course I would. Of course I would. Yes. If he showed up and played any of those songs, we would all be going bonkers for about 2 years that he played these songs. Absolutely. Again, as I've often said, the Beatles and Paul's worst whatever is light years ahead of anybody else's best stuff. That's how much of a stratosphere they are. You know, we say it's the worst, but as I said, like as I like to say a lot, the Beatles' worst song is 10 times better than the Rolling Stones' best song. There, I said it. You don't like it? Stop watching. I don't care. But that's how I feel. Sorry, Mick. I finally decided to try the Japanese. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yes, brother. You know it. We're simpatico with that. Hello, Mike. Good morning. Yes, life-changing. And I'm going back at some point. David, the OG leg, says 4 or 5 seconds would have been... Yeah, that could have been in there too. That could have been in there too. Yeah, Angry was in mine. And we made that point in the show. Pete Townsend, Phil Collins, and Paul McCartney, as I said, you know, messiahs for me. And they're all on one track. And it's gobshite. Garbage. Elliot, how about I like that. No, that's good. That's a little funky thing. They just called it version and made it a little bit like a little tin whistle thing. I like that. No, that's fab. Hello, Nick. It's absolutely, James. Trash. Hi, Eddie. Boyin. I agreed with you on Angry till a few weeks ago when it just clicked for me, even if most of the lyrics are claptrap. Yeah, hey, that could happen. It's got a decent riff, a little frenetically paced thing, you know. But that's all, you know. And that a song that just starts out like that. Why the hell you do? No, skip, off, gone. Good morning, Nick. I love your avatar. And that's cool. That's what makes fan. Oh, that's not fair. That's a good track, man. That's a good song. I love How Many People. Love it. He played it a lot. It was a sound check song. He did it, made it a couple of video appearances. I think on I don't know if it was Top of the Pops, but it was on a couple of TV shows back in the day. I did Time on My Hands. The first song that has leaked, well, not leaked, but has been released from Ringo's forthcoming album, finally coming out, called Look Up, due in January of 2025, a proper Ringo album. And this song was written mainly by T-Bone Burnett. I like it. It's Ringo doing a real song. And there's no peace and love rhetoric in it. And I like it. And Ringo's voice is like a fine wine. It gets better with age. But yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I liked the cover. You had the little subtle drops this week on social media with the hat thing tilted down. Yeah, I'm all for that. Pre-ordered, done. Vinyl and CD. See, who says I hate Ringo? Come on now. No, not too many. Not too many. Not at all. Fair enough. Fair enough. You know, I just realized what today is. Today was the day, 23 years ago, was the concert for New York City on October 20th, 2001, which I know that I think James Liverani was at with his dad. And that was a recent talking point on the show we did with Dino on Driving Rain and Freedom. And I just happened to see the picture of Billy Joel and The Who, and that was 23 years ago today. Wow. Wow. It's funny, I was just listening to Girlfriend last night. I had some friends over, and we were listening to London Town, and Girlfriend came on, and I asked my friend, I said, well, whose version do you prefer, Paul's or Michael's? And most people I've asked that question to over the last couple of years go right to Michael Jackson. My friend said, no, man, it's got to be Paul. I was like, wow, I was expecting him to say Michael. But he said Paul's, which I loved. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. It's hard. I love Michael's production of it, and Quincy Jones's production of Girlfriend on Off the Wall. I really do. It's hard for me to choose. It really is, because, I could just say, well, Paul's is the best and Michael's isn't, but that's not true, because Michael's is damn good too. But listen, how can you not like Paul's version of Girlfriend? Come on. Well, yeah, that's a song that made Tom's. That's a song that made Tom's top 10 worst. The falsetto songs. Well, yeah, we talked about that. Elliot was at the concert for New York City with David Peel. It's funny. I was listening to, this past week, the Fab Forum, which had Sean Lennon on it, because he was promoting the meditation mixes. And they kind of made a little parallel connection to John Lennon and the Mets, because on the album that John co-produced, The Pope Smokes Dope, which was a David Peel record, there's a track on there called The Sounds of New York City or something like that, and kind of like almost a Revolution 9 type track. I did not know about this track because I don't have that album. I just know that the Feds thought that was John Lennon on the cover. And on this track, The Sounds of New York City, you hear the chants, "Let's go Mets." So Frangione and Flanagan kind of tied this connection into the Mets and Lennon and stuff. It was a good take during this past week's installment of the Fab Forum, which I finally got to hear the other day, promoting the meditation mixes, which you see over my shoulder, which I'm really digging. Let me get you back up in the comments here. The album version of Pretty Little Head could be in the bottom. Well, the single version of Pretty Little Head, especially the 12-inch remix, is the best one. You bringing it up just gave me chills. I wish I was a little older to accept more of the emotions. I'll never forget looking over at Dad. Yeah, I knew. I thought you guys were at that. Yeah. Yep. Yes. And I said this on the show. And I could have swapped out Really Love You or Used to Be Bad. Those two songs. And If You Wanna. I'm not a fan of If You Wanna either. You take If You Wanna, Really Love You, and Used to Be Bad off Flaming Pie and trim that thing down to 11 tracks. Listen, the album is still fantastic and iconic, and as it should be. You take those three off, and now you've put it in Band on the Run stratosphere, in my opinion. Those three songs drag that album down a little bit and bring it to, 56 minutes or something? Trim that thing down to about 45 minutes, 43 minutes. It's good. Tony likes Peace in the Neighborhood. Spelled it wrong, though. Got to put the U in there. Nick says, love London Town. Could have left Girlfriend off. Most people like they dislike the children's songs. They don't like that. They don't like the deliver your children. They seem to take the brunt of the punishment. David, I watched that live on VH1 and recorded the 6 hours of VHS. Yeah. Not a fan of you don't like the experimental stuff. I don't mind the experimental stuff if it's contained within its own release, right? If it's just a one-off thing. That's why I think Rinse the Raindrops, hey, you want to jam out for 10 minutes, go right ahead. Don't fill up an album where their space is limited of 10 minutes and throw it on there. I got to go back to Elliot here. October 25th, 2024, Dark Horse is reissuing Early Takes Volume 1 by George on vinyl. It's all part of... Okay, so it's coming out again on vinyl. Well, we couldn't get Volume 2, could we? Yeah. Tony, they do. James makes... Yes, it does. Yeah, yes, it does. The Who did... Yes, they did. Yep. The Who stole the show at the concert for New York City, coming from an unabashed Paul supporter. They just did. Where did I put the hype sticker? Inside. And I got to give credit there to the OG Leg. This is the attention to detail that he always finds that I seem to not notice because he scrutinizes all those little details. The vinyl version of the meditation mixes is actually not complete because due to the limitations of vinyl. On streaming, you get the full versions of some of these expanded tracks. So the vinyl is actually a little shorter than what's available on streaming. Good to know. And I've really enjoyed it. I got it. I think I got it on Tuesday or Wednesday. I've played just about all the sides. I love it. I think my favorite mix so far of the meditation ones is just the one called Yes, because that's the one that Sean said on the Fab Forum that he worked the most on. It's the one that actually has all of the lyrics of the song stretched into about 6 or so minutes, which I like. Noah, did you find out about A Hard Day's Night? I did, and thanks to a friend, I'm going to be getting a copy of that sent my way from across the pond. So when it does come, I'll give him a proper thanks. But yes, but it also is available. You can get it. You know, anybody could buy it now. And I know Susan Gagney got it and pre-ordered it. So it looks nice. It definitely looks nice. Anybody get a copy yet? Yeah, but hype stickers, I don't like to put them back on the vinyl because then I will say though, the one thing with this though, that the material of the cover, when you touch it, your fingerprints kind of get all over it, and it makes me go crazy, and I gotta clean it. I gotta clean it off with that cover. That's the one thing I don't like. Hello, Tom. Good morning. Good morning. I'm gonna go back to Boyan here. Having Really Love You and Used to Be Bad on Flaming Pie feels like I'm adding something to the release of some of the tension. Maybe a little melancholy. Jeff says, streaming on the Meditation Mixes does not contain the last looping songs, the ones that never end unless you lift the needle off. Now, here's the thing. If you have the kind of turntable with the automatic release, so when the record finishes playing, now mine does not do that. I actually have to get up off my butt, pick it up, and turn it off. A lot of people don't like that, but that's kind of like the same thing with having, you know, a first copy of Sgt. Pepper, right? You'd hear that at the end of A Day in the Life, you know, and then any other way you would have to just pick it up and turn it off. I didn't know that. So the last side looping, you're talking about the last side on the side 6, Jeff? Is that what you're talking about? I'll have to check that out either later today or this week. Joe Mantaneo, one of our regulars in the house. Hello, Joe. Breege. I don't know if I've seen Breege on my show before. Welcome. Welcome. Why was I acting like a dustbin lid omitted from the list? Because I like the song. And of course, Breege is talking about The Other Me from Pipes of Peace, which I think is a fantastic song. And I don't care if the dustbin lid lyric is in there, okay? I'm going to go with Paul on this one. You don't like it? Don't listen to it. I happen to love The Other Me a lot. So that was not going to be on my list because I really like it. That's right, man. We were just talking about it, Tom. 23 years. Today, 20th of October, 2021. Sometimes it feels like 40 years. Sometimes it feels like 5. I mean, when you think about the 23 years since. James, how old were you back then? Because you said you were too young to appreciate it or kind of really, embrace what was going on. Tony, since I've been watching your shows, I keep an eye on the hype sticker. Oh, the hype. Listen, some people like that. Various vinyls do and don't. I have an automatic. Yeah, no automatic arm here. The Hard Day's Night. Yes, it is the 2009. If you didn't already know, they're just using the 2009 stereo remastered from the CDs on this new pressing, this white thing. Yeah, indeed. That's right. Absolutely. Elliot, BMG just released Sleepwalker and Misfits by the Kinks. They're fully remastered. Both. All right. I got to work on the Kinks still. I mean, I've gotten there a little bit, but I haven't really dived too far in. James had just turned 16. Beyond emotional, but no, not at all. Not at all. So you were 16, I was 20. Yeah. But being New Yorkers and in the area, yeah, of course. Absolutely. And that's what we talk about. And that's kind of what we met with Freedom, which I don't think, depending if you're not from this area, I don't think you can discount Paul doing Freedom. Now, lumping it onto Driving Rain, mistake. But I think releasing it and doing a standalone single and having the proceeds of that charity single support the firemen and the cops and all the people affected, absolutely, why not? But I do think lumping it onto Driving Rain is where that's where where he takes flack for it, because an album that's already delayed, you've got a 10-minute track on there, and then you just tack Freedom on there as a hidden track. I can understand why fans don't like that, but I don't think you can discredit Paul's intentions for writing the song, and especially, premiering it at that concert on this date 23 years ago. You can't. Because you watch that song, you watch that concert from start to finish, all 6 hours of it. I mean, God, you talk about a country being united, and I'm not going to get political here, but that was like a galvanizing moment We just did. We all felt it. Okay, so yeah, you didn't want to hear Freedom. I heard Freedom in 2002, the very first time I saw Paul at the Garden, and I loved it because we were kind of only not even a year after 9/11, and he played it. So is it dated? Sure. But for the time, I didn't mind it being in the live set. I just didn't want it on Driving Rain. Hi, Susan. Good morning. We were just saying how Susan got a copy of the Hard Day's Night white vinyl, I believe from Amazon.co.uk. So I was wondering if you got it yet. I know Beatley Tone got a copy. So I did start to see a few. It's weird that Paul did so many standalone singles in the 70s and 80s, but didn't do that. No, that started to stop. Driving Rain was not my favorite album. Yeah, well, we talked about that. I got to go back to Jeff here. Yes, side 6 are banded tracks that don't end. You have to select each song. Each song is separate, and they don't play into the next one. Okay. I think, side 6 is the one that has like the 20-something minute version. I think it's just called Peace, I think. Yeah. Boy, and as of this past Wednesday, I've booked accommodations in Liverpool for the future. There we go. Yeah, we'll sort all that out. We'll sort all that out in good time. But what does everybody think of the new Ringo song, Time in My Hands? Do you like it? Indifferent? Looking forward to it? Did you pre-order the album? At least we're getting an album now, not another EP. Ha 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 ha. Let me know. A couple of show and tell things here to talk about today. I was gifted a lovely subscription to a fan club magazine club called Octopus's Garden. Let me just go back to this here, Tom, real quick. Did you hear? Yes, I did. I heard that Ringo was going to be doing that in Tennessee, calling Dylan Seavey. I think that's going to be great. And the pedal steel guitar is great. Which has done so well. And if you're a fan of Bob Dylan in that period, you hear it. You hear it on National Skyline. You hear it in some of George's work. And pedal steel has just done so well. And you hear it on that song. And he's singing a real song. Not that the other songs weren't real, but it's good. Well, we'll hear it. Breege. That's a tough question. I mean, Wings, if I'm being honest, but I love them both kind of equally. But what do I listen to more? Wings, I do. I don't know about that. I have a feeling he won't. Susan says, I've got to admit Paul for making Freedom. He stepped up. Absolutely, Susan. Boyan found the new Ringo song, a bit slow and predictable. Yeah, it grows. But his voice is good, man. I mean, this guy's taking care of himself at 84 years old and still going. Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, but anyway, big thank you to Janet Davis, who gifted me a subscription to this Octopus's Garden membership fan club. I got a little letter here, too, from them welcoming me to the fan club from Tom. Octopus's Garden is in its 34th year of existence and issued a member of the National Association of Fan Club and Trusted Clubs. Quarterly publications done. 4 subscriptions a year. Wow. I mean, anybody else subscribe to this or belong to it? I mean, what a doll she is. With a little picture included here too, upside down, of Brian and the boys, circa 1963, I want to say. All included. Wow. Janet. So nice. It was in my mailbox the other day. Unbelievable. I have to give her thanks for something else too. I'm going to show. I hit the mother lode. Talk about a fanzines, and I'm sure, hopefully, some of you guys have this, but I'll get to that in a little bit as we catch up on comments and keep talking. Lewison needs to hurry up. Lewison will get done when he's supposed to get done. There is no shortage of books to read in the meantime, and there's a lot coming out. I think if you follow us on social media, Luca's got 2 new books out, and of course, in December, less than 2 months, we've got Maccartney Legacy Volume 2 coming out. And that is going to be, listen, from everything that Adrian and Alan have communicated to me and to everybody, it's going to be awesome. It's going to blow our minds. What the research and the detail that they have done for Volume 2. It's two different books. Okay, it's 2 different kind of books. This is like forensic style study and research that Adrian and Alan are doing and uncovering these things that we've never found out before. They've taken 10 years to write these 2 books. 10. So let me catch up here. Hey, Bob. Yep, traditional country. No problem. I sent you the link. It looks like you're not going to get a better price, I don't think, for that. If you have used record stores in your area, you might find a copy, but I think that's a decent price, and Discogs is pretty reputable. And the sellers, if they're reputable and they have good ratings, what they describe is going to be what you get. So when you factor all those things in, I hope you end up getting that copy of Broad Street. Do let me know. I do. I don't know anything, but I have a feeling we will. Less auto-tune on the new tracks too. Yes. Why don't I think the All-Star? Because this isn't an All-Stars project. That's a different. I think it's church and state. What does Tom Liverani think? I don't think I don't think the All-Stars will play with him on this. I think he's going to just launch it. Did they play on this with him? If they played on him, then maybe. But I don't think the All-Stars were involved with this project, so no. Got a few songs for you. Smiths, Morrissey. I don't know any of those songs. Yes, I did. And that's another book added to the list, and that I will love to enjoy reading. Yeah, and I think a couple copies have made their way out, for people to advance and review. I have not seen it yet, but I will definitely read that for sure. I think Ringo may use local musicians. Okay, thank you, Tom. I had a feeling that that's why I don't think this will be an All-Stars thing. I don't. No, Tony, because we have had Old Wave and Stop and Smell the Roses reissued six different ways from Sunday over the last 2 years. We got them on Record Store Day. Then they came out on CD. Then they were repackaged on CD again to be on color. No. Uncle on those 2 releases. Done. We don't need that anymore. We don't need more. I don't need any more copies of that. No. I got them. I got the 2 colored CD versions of them a few months back in September when they came out for like $10, which I got. Which I already got. I already had them. When they were issued again on Record Store Day. So yeah, we're done with those releases. Yoko says she never heard of the Beatles. What lyrics she? I don't know, but that's the myth. That's the myth that goes out there. But the specifics, I couldn't tell you. I really think Adrian's an outstanding. Yes, he is. Well, 2 different. Again, all these projects are totally different in their styles and their approaches and what they're needing to do. Mark is trying to write the story from basically the ancestry of the Beatles, going back. If you read the extended edition of Tune In, he traces the ancestry of the Beatles going back to Ireland, and he's trying to go all the way up to 1974. You know how much research has to go into that period? And just as well, Adrian and Alan are doing, just in my opinion, the same kind of level of deep dive on Paul. So I can't say I prefer one or the other, because to me, Adrian, Alan, Mark Lewison are all on the same. They're all on the same playing field in terms of quality and research and doing their homework, and they are the true benchmark. Absolutely. Working on it. Yeah. Well, we've talked, and yes, they will absolutely, when the book drops, they have said that they're going to do an appearance on Two Legs for sure. They'll probably do, obviously, Things We Said Today first, because Alan is a co-host and that's his show. So yeah, but shortly after they do an appearance on that, then we'll have them on Two Legs for sure. And maybe in the future at a convention, maybe. We'll see. That's more to come on that in the months ahead. Don't like the kids' work, Brage. I'm not a fan. I like Julian. I like some of Julian's stuff, and that's it. Susan. No. Agree. No. Of the Ringo album, which I happened to play also last night with some friends over. I have a 5-disc CD player, right? So I said, what am I going to play for the night? I'm just going to do streaming. So I did 4 solo albums and a Beatle album, and just, spun that. Yes, she does. And Jude is absolutely in that conversation too. I didn't want to leave Jude out because she has been researching, the life of John Lennon most of her life. And if you follow Jude Kessler and her husband Rand, they do phenomenal focal point series. And I have her books. I haven't read them all because, she's made multiple trips to Liverpool. Yeah, Jude Kessler is absolutely in that category too. Absolutely. Jeff says, my favorite style of Beatles and McCartney books are the type of recording sessions. Yeah, you want to just read about the sessions, which if you followed what Adrian and Alan have said, they wanted to do a sessionography, like you're saying, Jeff. They wanted to write a book that was a sessionography, but they couldn't separate Paul's personal life and professional life because they're so intertwined. And I understand that. But that was their approach. Hi, Nick. How you doing, man? Thanks for the two-leg show, Andy. So much great content and fun community. Yes, we are. It is a lot of work, but if you compartmentalize it and branch it off, you can make it all work. Team Jules. Yeah, a couple of Julian songs. Salt Water, I think, is a great song. Obviously, Too Late for Goodbyes. Photograph Smile, I thought was a great album from 1998. I thought that was because it's the closest sounding to the Beatles out of all the kids, and I think that's why I like it. And that's it. So, do you have 5 Fab CDs in your Yes, I do. If you do no, he's not. But I think he'll be fine because not hearing from Mark is a good thing because he's doing his work. It's fine. Boyan says he feels the same about Sean's music. Found him quite argumentative on Twitter when I used to use that. Yeah, and of course, social media ever becomes keyboard tough guys and warriors, and can say anything and can hide behind a keyboard and say whatever they want, which is why I'm not the biggest social media fan. I'm not, pictures maybe occasionally, but back and forth discourse, no thanks. David says they need an Andrew Sandoval. Yeah, as someone who can curate Ringo's solo albums for super deluxe editions, someone needs to take care of his 70 to 74 lost to time. And you make a good point there, David, because that is the period of Ringo's solo career that is going to be the most celebrated. Okay, Rotogravure. I still struggle saying that damn word. I actually would lump that album into that period, but cut it off there because I think Rotogravure is included. I think that's an album that is worthy of in that period, even though it's from '76. Hold on, let me go back. No sign of Paul's cavern bass. Do you think he'll? No, I do not. No, he is. Listen, after that thing was gone for how many years? He is not busting that thing out at all. In my opinion, I don't think he got it back, pun intended, and he's gonna just put it away. That's all. I don't think he will. I love that bass though. The color on it is just the one you see him get back. It just pops. It's so good. I respect that Adrian and Alan didn't. No, they don't. And what I love about the McCartney Legacy books is that you're reading it as if you're discovering things in time. Like there's no foreknowledge. And Alan and Adrian say that in their introduction. So they're not going to give you 2024 takes on what happened in 1974. They're telling you the story as it happened in time. And that is a fantastic way to chronicle a life and a story without any prejudice or viewpoints that have tainted or people's views. They're presenting the facts. Here's what happened. And then they move on. There is no contextual, well, why this and that? They're just presenting the story as they have uncovered it. And that I think that is a brilliant way to chronicle a life. And what a job they're doing so far. Peter Frampton was inducted last night at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and in his speech he mentioned All Things Must Pass and playing on Harry Nilsson albums. Very cool. Did not realize that. James, here's... I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Here's your punishment for making a worst of show. God, I pissed them off by doing a worst show. Listen, we had to. We'll never do it again. I promise. I promise, brother. I know, saying Paul McCartney and worst in the same sentence is you can't. It's sacrilege, but we had fun with it. Make a CD of all the songs you deemed the worst and listen to it over and over until you're my friend again. Okay, I'll rip one after the show. We'll make a playlist. Oh, my musical brother from another mother. You crack me up. I see your meditation mixes in the background. I put on disposable painter's gloves. The fingerprints. I can't. I had to clean it off. Ooh. He knows something that we don't. We'll talk later. I saw Danny live and James Maccartney live. Yeah, good. Yeah, good. No interest. Jeff says, I hope that when Volume 2 is printed on better paper with ink with less odor. When I read it, I kept thinking how cheap it was printed. Yeah, I don't know. I had no problem with that. I had no problem with the font size or the paper. I really didn't. I think I'm going to buy about 5 copies, though, for family and friends. And we'll probably end up giving a copy or 2 away here on Two Legs as well. Sadly, I can tell you there will be no launch of McCartney Legacy Volume 2 in the New York area like there was 2 years ago. And that's when I first met Adrian Sinclair for the first time and Alan Cozen. I think I'd met Alan once or twice at a fest before that. But when they launched the book here in 2022, it was in Newark. And it was with Mark Lapidus from the fest. And that's when he had arranged to get together and do something in 2023 at the fest and moving forward. So there will be no launch show this time, but they will be at the fest in March here in Jersey City. So that'll be fantastic, and the book will have been out by then. And really just support those guys, because how well those books do determine how far the rest of the series goes from the publishers, and they need to keep writing, and we have to support those guys any way we can. Hard Day's Night, white vinyls. Yeah, well, of course. And I'm sure inflated at 3 times the price. I think it ended up going for, what, 30 pounds? Right? 30 pounds sterling, Tone said. Yeah. Personal thoughts on Beatles 64. I don't want any talking heads. I like that we're getting a documentary that comes out in November because, Apple, and they know what they're doing. We got back in November. This is going to be good. It's the same thing. I just don't want talking heads. And listen, Martin Scorsese's doing it, so my expectations are pretty high. If it was anything like the Living in the Material World doc from 2011, it's going to be good. I just don't want 8 days a week again. And I think it'll be good. If it's the Maisels footage, with more of that, with maybe an expanded first U.S. visit, which we got on DVD 20 years ago. Tom got an unofficial... Yeah, I did too. And boy, that certainly was. It certainly was. But yeah, I think it's going to be good. I know my partner in crime, he doesn't want to talk or speculate on it because the hype and everything else. He just wants to watch it and then assess it. And I kind of agree with him. I think it's going to be great. Marty's doing it, okay? We're talking about Marty Scorsese. Goodfellas. It's going to be good. Jeff. Exactly. I don't need celebrity talking heads going, oh my God. I want a documentary that is, scholarly, academic, and accurate. Okay? Done. And now the real question is, it drops on the 29th of November, okay? Disney. Now, that's Thanksgiving weekend, as you all know. I think it's the day after Thanksgiving. Will it drop at midnight Disney time, which they did with Got Back, which really means 3 a.m. here in the East Coast? If it does, I have a feeling somebody in Detroit, Michigan is going to be texting my ass saying, get up so we can do a live recap on it. We'll see. It's a Tuesday? Fanab. November 29th. Hold on. No, that's a Friday, brother. That's a Friday. From what I got, I'm afraid we'll have talking heads. No talking heads. The right talking heads would be nice, and not the band. I don't know. It's capitalizing all the 64 stuff. It is. The box set, the 1964 merch stuff, I get it. But if I had to guess, I wouldn't be surprised if we got, by the end of the year, some kind of live 1964 thing. Because we're going to have a film, right, that's dropping. We've got a reissue of the mono albums. I would not be surprised if there is some kind of box set of 1964 recordings. Maybe. Who knows? And they'll just drop it. If I had to guess. Maybe. Nope. That's not going anywhere, according to Lindsay Hogg. I'm actually not. I'm not, because I have them, and I made that mistake with the last one, and I enjoy it, but the outtakes that were on the Yes album are the Super Deluxe, the CD. They just made it on vinyl, so I'm not going to do that. Record Store Day is not looking very good. What new show? What new show? Maybe the full, yeah, maybe they drop that. I'm actually getting nothing. The Record Store Day list for Black Friday does not impress me at all. I'm not going for the 3-inch Beatle things. I have no interest in getting those. And frankly, after last year, after April, with Mind Games and getting up early and not getting it and then having to go on eBay to get it, I'm done. I'm done with Record Store Day. I'm not doing it again. All power to you. But I could get it on eBay, and I paid, another $20 more than what it was? I got it. Sleep is too valuable. I'm not getting up again for a Black Friday unless it's something that I know that I actually have to have, and then I will. But and even then, I don't think I will. So I'm not doing it. Shea Stadium, too. I think a lot of these things, Hollywood Bowls, Shea Stadium, 64, 65, could be combined into some kind of package. We'll see. We'll see. It'll be good. Anybody know the runtime yet? Yeah. I reckon it'll be a cut and paste of the first U.S. visit with other older Doc bits and talking heads commenting. Yeah. And full performances, too, which the anthology did such a good job of. In the anthology, the full version, when you'd get full segments there of the concert, or full songs at least. And that needs to happen. Yeah. Yep. Concert Bangladesh is being worked on by Peter Jackson down there in New Zealand. So, again, plenty of content coming. David, Shea to stream in the future appears how they love. Yeah, it's going to, yeah. Yep. Secret Agent Paul, hello. Of course. And it's funny, I actually saw for the first time in February. I went to the symposium in February of earlier this year at Monmouth University. Did a 1964 kind of Beatles arrival thing at Monmouth. And Ken Womack was there. And they actually showed the entire Ed Sullivan show. And as a rabid Beatles solo fan, I've always watched the Beatles performance. Obviously, we know it ad nauseum. But to actually watch the entire Ed Sullivan show from start to finish, including all the commercials, which I had never done. The guy flipping plates and Davy Jones on there acting out skits and all kinds of weird stuff. Oh, and then we're just going to throw the Beatles on in the middle of the show and then go back to it. That was pretty cool to watch the entire Ed Sullivan show. Yeah. Yeah, I think it is. Noah. Because from all reports say that they had to really, really fight to get back out on physical product. They had to really push and fight for that. So I think they conceded. Let's get back out. It's 8 hours. Let it be. They're not going to. I'm only sleeping. What's up, Andy? Kenny from Jersey, another Jersey guy. How we doing? How you doing? Tom, very long overdue. I don't know the quality of the voice, Tom. I don't know the quality of the voice. I don't know what it's going to sound like. Because he had a dark horse voice. Disney sucks. Hey, Disney. Listen, there's some great. I love the convenience of just streaming and throwing something on, but I like having physical product too. You know, some people just got Disney Plus just to get back. I've been a subscriber shortly since it's been out. Did anybody else just get Disney Plus for the Beatles stuff and then just nixed it? I think it's a good app there because there's great content on there. There's great content on there. And if you've got little kids and nieces and nephews, you just throw that on. Susan wants to get the Record Store Day. I want to hold your hand, but I think there'll be plenty available. You might. Yeah, sleep in. Well, that's yeah. That hey, they could do that. They could do that. That and who knows? David says this is why I still love the boots that are available. Yeah, of course. And there's a ton. I mean, I have a bootleg of Let It Be that was a Disney Plus rip. It's out there. You can get it. If you want to have it, it's out there. What else? Let me go back and scroll back up here. Yeah. And you kept it since. Exactly. So, as I mentioned, the U.S. Big no. Well, listen, for the Beatles story in a box too, I get it. Why? I get it. Are you going to get any of them all? Or are you going to get any of the albums? Because to have them in mono, again, is pretty cool. I only have a couple of them in mono, and they're all beat up. I mean, I've got a mono and stereo of every Beatles U.S. album. Multiple, actually. And then some ones from Japan and stuff. But when I was collecting as a kid, my goal was to get an original mono and an original stereo. And some to varying degrees of success, I got that. Some of them were later, the 70s repressing with the orange and things like that, but I did get them. So that was I wanted to get a mono and stereo from each from like the beginning all the way up to that was how I built my collection. And then, mono, stereo, repressing, rainbow labels, orange labels, purple capitals. You can go bonkers collecting all the different labels to do that. Jeff got Disney Plus when it was $1.99 a month. Last much to watch the Taylor Swift videos. Yes, honestly. And that period will go past December. There you go. It's funny you mentioned Taylor Swift. Sean Lennon mentioned that on the Fab Forum on the Sirius XM show. That he doesn't know one song by her because he's listening to classical or something else or jazz. And I'm like, Sean, I'm with you too. I couldn't name one of her songs if you paid me $1 million. I know what she looks like, obviously, but I don't know one of her songs at all. I don't. Maybe. Your pops just made a good point, and it was on my talking point list, and I'm glad he brought it up. Let's go from the son to the dad. Tom, yes, I did. So, again, from 3, just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in. I just got the 5 SHMs. Maccartney, Ram, Wildlife, Red Rose Speedway, Band on the Run. And then, 2 days later, PaulMcCartney.com says, here's the next batch of the 5 SHMs that are coming. Venus and Mars, Speed of Sound, Wings Over America, Thrillington, and Wings Greatest. And yes, I did. I did get them. I did pre-order them through that and got them. And then so now we've skipped London Town and Back to the Egg. And if you've watched Beatley Tone, he thinks that that's a good thing. Tom and I don't think it's a good thing. I think that skipping it is just more delaying it. Tone took the glass half full, saying, "Oh well, they've skipped it, so that means they're really saving it." We'll see. Yes. So here's what I did. I ripped them all, and it's just louder. They are louder. I compared these to the archive issues, right? Most recently, I compared them to Wildlife and Red Rose Speedway because they are the most recent ones that we got in 2018, right? So I listened to them digitally and played them. They're punchier. They're like what kind of Giles did with some of the new Beatles stuff. I compared them. I A-B'd them. I listened to Mumbo from 2018 on Wildlife, and then I listened to Mumbo on the SHM, and it's more full and dynamic and in your ears. It's louder. And it is. If you get the discount code, it's worth it. And that's how I got that. Thank you, Bob Gannon. So it's definitely worth it. And they're a little bit bigger. They're bigger than a standard CD size, and it was worth it. It was. British albums only for you. But it did definitely. But yeah, I did. Did you guys get them too, or not? Even just for the Obi strips, you got to get them. Yeah, that probably will happen now. I would think now that 24 is winding down, we'll get the much anticipated Rubber Soul coming out in 2025. Doesn't necessarily have to be in December, but as we know, I did see, you're going to get fourth quarter product for the Beatles because that just goes hand in hand. You're not going to get this in January or February or March or even in the summer. Beatles product is marketed for the holidays. It has been since the 60s. It will not change now. Rubber Soul came out in December. With the Beatles came out in November. Sgt. Pepper came out in June. Fine. Mystery Tour, December. White Album, November. Abbey Road, September, October. Let It Be was May. Fine. But generally, you're getting it. You're getting it. You're getting a fall fourth quarter product, and that's probably what's going to happen, I would guess, in 2025. Yeah. Mark, the U.S. Capitol, Meet the Beatles, early Beatles and help. Yes, they are. Grab them, and they're still available. Listen, Tom wasn't going to get them either, Magnotti, and then he grabbed them. And I'm like, I wasn't going to. I really wasn't going to. And then I'm like, and then and then a friend of mine I work with, who's also just as nuts as we all are, he's like, you convinced me again, and he got them too. I'm telling you, I wasn't going to get the meditation mixes, and then I get this picture from David. I got them. I'm like, and now I enjoy it. I really enjoy it. So, the music is there to be gotten, and go get it. So snap them up. Yes, it's definitely worth it, though. Let me go back to this here. James says, to be honest, it's a bit aggravating that the rubber. Yeah, it is. But again, you've got Apple, and they want to kind of capitalize on the 1964 tour stuff to coincide with an anniversary this year. And then kind of with Tony's video, does Apple know what they're doing? I think in some regards, yes, some regards, no. Like some anniversaries work, some don't. In the fall of 2022, we got Revolver. There's no anniversary tied to that. But then the next year, it's 50 years since Red and Blue. Let's just drop that. Now next year, and now this year is 64. So it seems like they're on a track of doing that again now, maybe with anniversaries. Perhaps. Who knows? I want to make sure I saw all the comments here. Disney. Susan, I got to get Susan here. I got Disney Plus just to watch Get Back and then canceled. Same with Hulu and McCartney 321. Got to save for all those Beatle-related issues. Yes. And Hulu. Don't even get me started with Hulu, okay? Every other month I get an email, oh, your Hulu subscription's going up. I cut cable to get Hulu, and you keep increasing it, and it keeps buffering out. I'm trying to watch the Mets the other night, and it cuts in and out. I'm like, what am I paying for if this service is just crapping out all the time? If anybody has Hulu and has buffering issues, please say in the comments, because that is royally pissing me off. I'm going to go back to rabbit ears, goddammit, and just go that way. And I'm going to pull a Janet. Janet doesn't have cable, just going to go straight up, just TV, rabbit ears, and just give me broadcast television. Go old school. That annoys me. But yes, Susan, I agree with you. And I understand. But you're going to have to get it to watch this documentary. Jeff says the 64 box set is not on his purchase radar. He's got the OG records on either original Rainbow or Apple. And you've got the boxes from 04 and 06, which are, to me, if you want them on CD and in good, pristine digital quality, those are the ones to get. Absolutely. Steve Perry just got signed Dark Horse. Any truth to I don't know about that. Don't know about that. Yeah. All right, brother. Hey, I'm always here. Except next Sunday I won't be here, but I'll be back again. All right, enjoy your day, enjoy your Sunday, and peace in the neighborhood out there. See ya. Yes, MVP. Disgraziad. Bad. David says boots end up being cheaper to want to pull off the shelf for each dock. Yes. Yeah. I have not heard this yet. Tom, did you get a copy of it? I know we were messaging about this, although I haven't had time to check. I haven't. But let me, have you heard it yet? I have not had a chance to preview it yet or even look for it. But I can't wait. Joe has trouble with Netflix. That's what you pay. Yes, I do. I do like the alternate take of It's So Easy. I do. Very much. Which my partner actually said he did not like. But no, I have to work on that. I have to work on that one, Tom. And I know we talked about it. Have you heard it? Nick says at some point I'd love to have an official release of the Beatles cartoon. Those, I'm going to hard pass on those. I know people like Joe Mayo, that was their first exposure to the Beatles. The cartoons, I have no interest in those. None whatsoever. None whatsoever at all. Do you think Dark Horse Records will release Wings as a guitarist? Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, if you grew up with them, I could see why. The longer version he didn't like. You haven't heard it. Okay. All right. Yeah, the cartoons, nah. I mean, Yellow Submarine, I have trouble with, and the Beatles were involved with that a little bit, but not much. The animated stuff doesn't do much for me. It just doesn't. The music is great in the film, but that's about it. Now let me go back to some fanzine stuff. Please let me know. I hit the mother load this week. Again, thanks to Janet Davis, who you hear me mention a lot. Oh, I don't want to do that. Go away. Janet put me in touch with the publishers of Maccartney, and I worked out a deal with them, and I'm going to do a separate video on this. We got a clown here. We got a block. And you're gone. And you're gone. Well, you're going to get... I knew that was going to happen sooner or later. Jerk off. I hit the mother load, thanks to Janet. And I'm not going to show you all of them now. But I have acquired every subscription of Maccartney from the beginning of time to the current date. I got them all. Every issue. Picked it up in the mail this past week. It took a couple weeks to get here from the Netherlands, but I got every copy of Maccartney from its inception to now. I'm gonna do a proper video on these in time. I'm just gonna show you a couple of the covers now, all of them that I got here. Now that one you saw, but yeah, here's one on Ram, stockpiled. Even going back to its earliest days when it was just like it wasn't even color. These early issues. So I got all of them. Yes, he's gone. He's gone. He's gone. He's gone. So I'm going to do a proper video on Two Legs on all these issues of Maccartney. And they are it was quite heavy to carry too. Yeah. All of them. So thank you, Janet, for the hookup with the publishers of Maccartney, because this is going to be fantastic to just, again, continue to dive in over the next few months, years on. I mean, so many of them. I think we got to block you too, because you look like a troll, so you're gone. Yeah. Oh, you're going to get some. Yeah. The best. So I'm going to shoot a video on these over the shoulder style, highlighting each cover on every issue from the beginning of time, so you can actually see the front and back. Yeah, it is. It is. It would take me a couple weeks to do, but I'll get a camera and I'll just shoot each cover, so you can see the front and back cover and show you the evolution of the fanzine from like when it was thin, black and white, to now. Now they're like books. They're books and they're in color. I mean, they're so well done. And I had to work out a deal to get them all, but now I've got every single issue. And again, Janet Davis, thank you for putting me together with the people that run that fanzine to get it. Yeah, and they are, back issues are available. So, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, they're awesome. They're and it's interesting. You see how they've evolved from black and white, just typical little, typical small fanzine type things, and now they're like these monstrous books. As you've seen over the years, I've gotten a couple. I've gotten 3. But now they've grown so much, and I can't wait to dive into them. Long time ago, I read Pete Shotton's book. Yeah, Ralph just finished Mal's book, the Mal book by Ken Womack. Yes, it is. Yes, it is, and hard to believe that book's out over a year now, or 2. Just about a year ago now, we were at the Morrison Hotel Art Gallery in New York for the launch, and that's where myself and MVP and Susan Ryan met Ken and his wife Janine, and also Gary and Julie for the first time. And that was a wonderful launch, and I think I read that book in about 3 weeks, so fast. And we've got part 2 of that book coming out in 2025. Probably a year from now, which is the Diaries of Mal, which is going to be fantastic. Yeah. Yep. What a unsung hero in the entire Beatles story, which takes on a life of its own even after his death. And that's half the story. From the time Mal's gone to the discovery of all of his effects and how they got them. And if you read the book, you know how they got them, and you know that Yoko played a huge, huge role in that, in getting Mal's effects back to the family. It is an incredible tale. It is. Julie Evans is a doll, and I met her for the first time that night, and I guess it was in November of 2023, because Now and Then was already out. Because I remember when we went to the launch, Now and Then was like playing every other song, and that's when we first met her. Then we met her again in February at the TWA, and she had just come. Gary didn't come, and it was a lot for her, and we met her briefly, and then we met her again in Chicago. And we clicked, and she had a great time with everybody, and she is just a doll. And I really hope that Julie and Gary can make the trip in March here to New Jersey for the next fest, because their father is getting the attention that he has so richly deserved for so long, and who better to do it than Ken Womack? Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Well, the book that Mal wrote is the one that Ken has finished. That's what happened. They're using what Mal wrote to write Mal's story, Ralph. That's what's going on. 200 Miles from Home was what Mal's book was going to be called. I don't know if there's any plans to actually release what he wrote. I don't know anything about that. You'd have to ask Ken Womack that question. Jeff says he remembers watching the TV news back when the tragic news of Mal's shooting was reported. I was just starting my Beatles fandom when that happened. Wow, okay, Jeff. So that was January of 76. Wow. Yep. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And there are more good things to come on that front, my friend, with the Mal story. I'm not at liberty to say it right now, but stay tuned. Some great stuff. Yeah. Right. Well, that was going to be the name of it. And yeah, I might even reread that book again if I can. Still on the fence for the Mal book. I like Mal as a person and character in the Beatles circle, but I don't know about the book. I don't like gossip books based on people's impressions. Well, L, I'm not sure what your name is. These are not gossip books based on people's impressions. This is primary research from Mal Evans himself. What Mal wrote. This is not a gossip book. Hun, I have to tell you, this is a Mark Lewison worthy on your shelf placement of a book. This isn't a gossip book in the least, honey. This is a real book. This is a real book that has been researched for a long time, 4 or 5 years now, with the participation of the Evans estate to write this book. And they asked Ken to do it. So this is not a gossip book on his. This is fact. This is based on fact. So if you think that's what it is, it's not. And I really encourage you to read it then, because what you're reading is not an impression. It's fact. It's fact, and that is a fact. Mal and Neil were the Invisible Beatles. They were yes, they were. Yes, they were. Absolutely. 200 miles to go. So, yeah, that should be interesting. 2025 with the diaries and so forth. So, make sure I catch up on the comments here. Make sure my notes for the show are intact. God, these are heavy. Don't fall. Don't fall. Hold on. Just want to make sure we went over everything. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That looks like it's pretty much it. Yes. Diaries come out about a year from now. But I think, yeah, we've hit our hour. I think that's about it, folks. I think I'm going to call it a day. And I will not be here next week. I got to take a Sunday off. I should be back the week after, which would be the 3rd of November. I should be back for that. I should. But I've got to take a week off, maybe 2. And but I will be back. However, Two Legs wise, we have a doozy of a show coming up for you next week. Yes, he did. You and me, babe. Okay. Louisa, sorry. Please give it a try. That was said. Yeah, when he didn't need him. Yeah, it's sad. There's a lot of parts of this story that are sad. And this is one of them. Mal's story is one of them. It is. For next week for Two Legs, we are going to do a watch in real time review of Give My Regards to Broad Street with Ed Crawford. So we're going to record this, and the movie will be on, and we're just going to kind of watch it, pause, comment, and go through it. As it's 40 years since Broad Street came out this month, that will be our next episode. So it's going to be a rewatch of Broad Street with Ed Crawford, with some commentary and joke thrown into it as we watch the movie. Yes, that's what we're going to do. So that's going to drop next Saturday. We're going to record that this week, and that will drop next week. So that is what's on the agenda for us. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Everybody, MVP, Tom, James, Russ, Ralph, Tony, Louisa, Mike, Jeff, Tony, Nick, I don't want to forget, Susan Gagney, Elliot, Laura, Mark, Joe Mantaneo, David, of course, Noah Hockman, of course, there. I'm Only Sleeping, Secret Agent Paul. Thanks for being here. Just want to make sure I get everybody. There was somebody I missed at the top. Oh, James Boyce, obviously, of course. And Nick Syrett as well was also here. And I think that pretty much... And Boyan, of course. Thank you for popping on here. Breege, first time I've seen you on here, too. So come on back. Yep. 40 years, jokes throw in. Take care. Okay. Yeah. Yep. Enjoy. Good. Watching Broad Street is your punishment. Yes, that is my punishment. You're right. That's the punishment for the worst song show. But it'll be fun. That'll be here next week on Two Legs. Enjoy your Sunday, everybody, and I'll talk to you soon. Be well and stay safe. Bye-bye.